Hi there, welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how to prepare roasted stuffed peppers filled with ground beef, white rice, onions, olives, capers, tomato, and a variety of seasonings. All of this will be topped off by some delicious melted cheese and roasted in the oven. I think you'll find this a very tasty dish, one you might want to prepare fairly often. It's one of my favorites. I'll show you how. Come on. We'll be using red and green peppers, and what I'm going to do is slice them in half, clean out the insides, and then we'll roast those in the oven to get them blackened and cooked before we fill them. We'll be filling them with about 2 pounds of ground beef, cooked in a pan with some olives, tomatoes, garlic, and capers. We'll be adding some chopped onions and garlic once this starts to brown. And then we'll be chopping up some fresh tomatoes and throwing them in to cook to give it a nice tomato base, but without being a heavy sauce. While our hamburger is cooking, I've started slicing the peppers in half. Now you could also cut out the tops of the peppers and use them as a tall opening to fill and have them standing upright. That looks very nice also, but I find it's a lot easier stuffing them and serving them when they're sliced in half this way. So we're just about done cutting these. What I'll do after this is put them in a very hot oven, about 400 degrees, in a pan to roast. It should take about 20 minutes for these to start drying up and blackening a bit. I may throw them in the broiler very quickly, turning them once just to blacken them a little faster than the oven might do. The main point here is we want to dry them out and cook them a bit before we start to fill them. About 400 degrees, we're going to put these in and just let them cook up. I may even crank this up a bit higher. Let's make it 450. You want them to toast and actually blacken a bit. And so we'll leave those in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, our hamburger is cooking up nicely. I'm going to go ahead and add in the onions. Let those cook up. Small to medium-sized onion. And here I've got about 4 cloves of garlic. And again, you can put as much garlic as you like. Personally, I like a lot. So let's get this cooking. What's going to give this a distinct flavor are the chopped green olives and the capers. Now, I didn't know this before myself, but capers are actually the small buds from a flower that grows in the Mediterranean. And they give the dish a very tangy, slightly salty flavor. And it's a unique flavor. Much the same way that olives will lend a distinct taste to a dish. I'm also going to throw in those chopped tomatoes. Now we're going to add our chopped tomatoes. This is about 4 medium tomatoes. And you could use canned crushed tomato or some kind of sauce, but I just like to keep it fresh. And you'll still get a nice tomato flavor. Now we're going to let this cook up until it's broken down. We'll add some garlic powder. Now I'm going to go heavy on the seasoning on this portion of the dish because we're going to add the white rice to it later, and that's going to cut down on the flavor quite a bit. So going a little over the top on the seasoning here. Black pepper. Now I never really cook with precise quantities. I can't cook that way. It's a matter of feel with the ingredients. And of course tasting. You always have to taste your ingredients. Some salt. And again, don't worry about the amount because I'm going a little over what it would be at the end of this dish. And we can't forget the oregano. Now, fresh oregano has a little stronger flavor to it, but you can't always find fresh oregano, so I'm using nice dry oregano. Then I have a nice Italian blend of seasonings. This is basically some rosemary, parsley, marjoram, just a nice blend. Crush that up in here. All right. Okay, now we're going to add in the capers and olives. The dish is cooking up nicely now, and the roast peppers are still roasting in the oven. We'll check them in a moment to see if they blackened.